Okay, hello, welcome back to another video. Today playing against d4. So I'm going to show you guys my new preparation against d4, and that is the move c5, the old Benoni. Now, we do see pushes, knight f6 here, and hopefully we see c4. Amazing, because this is what I've been preparing against with the Benko gambit. The move b5 here, a beautiful bit of theory, to then play a6. After they take this pawn, not even trying to win this one back, just giving it up. And then you'd expect to take this pawn with 1, 2, or 3 of the possible pieces that could take the pawn. Nope, we play g6, and we simply fianchetto this bishop and castle kingside, leaving this pawn here until we're ready to take it, because, I mean, it's going nowhere. This is going very, very standardly for the Benko gambit. We'll probably see knight f3 here, and if we do see knight f3, here we go. This is still preparation. We can play the move queen to a5 here, pinning this knight. Now, 2 responses generally, and this one is not very good from white. The other response is bishop to d2, which looks kind of scary, but then we can end up picking up this pawn, and everything's fine. However, my opponent defends their pawn with the bishop, allowing us to play knight. And I know you're thinking, like, where the hell is this knight going? d5. Taking the pawn here, such that obviously the knight can't take because it's pinned to the king. After takes here, we can then take this knight with the bishop, and after pawn takes, we can play queen takes here, forking the king and rook. Now, if the bishop blocks the check and attack and connects rather the queen to the rook, then we can actually pick up this bishop on d3. So not only do we hit the king and the rook, but we put pressure on this bishop, and we are going to win it back. And then also, do not forget, we have this pawn that is ripe for the taking after whatever happens here. So the queen blocks here. Now, I can now just take the rook. Queen takes, bishop here is an illegal move because of the pin, but we'll take the rook, and then my opponent's probably going to castle, there we go, to try and play bishop here and actually trap my queen, except for I can then take this pawn here. So I think I'm actually doing completely fine. It might be a good idea to just play bishop takes here. We see bishop b2, just queen takes. Yeah, I'll do that. Bishop takes a6, picking up this pawn now. And we see the trade here. Okay, I can take with knight, which is, I think, largely advisable in these Benoni positions, to then put the knight on b4. But given that, you know, this tension is dissolved in this way down here, I think it's quite wise to take with the rook, because then I can, like, just take this pawn, or my opponent pushes the pawn. Okay, that's very interesting. Again, though, I'm thinking like d6, knight d7 seems really reasonable. Do I want to allow bishop b2 with tempo, forcing queen a2? That might be quite unpleasant. So instead, what I could do is, I guess, just come back down this diagonal. Then we see bishop b2. You know what? No, we're going to carry on with the standard play, completing this this very standard pawn structure, and then moving the queen to a2 here, where it is very safe. Now, oh, it is actually not safe at all here, because this is mate, and this is going to trap my queen. I am terrible at this game. Okay, f6, and then we see here. And then I think I probably start crying. Something like that. Something along those lines. Oh no, we can just take this pawn. Okay, we're fine. f6 here. Stop the mate threat. We can try and pick up this pawn. I mean, my opponent might try and reinforce the pawn, but we are going to get time to save the queen here, I believe. I mean, okay, the rook comes in to take this one, I guess, but now we're just going to go queen takes here, because if rook takes, I mean, the back rank's quite fragile. Okay, the rook does take. I'm thinking we can just go knight to c6, though, tempo on the rook. Yeah, here we go, knight to c6, attack the rook. Had a bit of a panic there because I kind of forgot that the queen moving to c3 meant that it no longer defended the d5 pawn, but absolutely fine. The rook now moves back, and honestly, I really like just going knight e5. Knight e5, just outposting it twice here, offering a trade because, you know, any real trade, and we are just going to be up in an endgame. Honestly as well, okay, well, I'm going to take this way to open my f file. That looks quite pleasant. Maybe even queen f7 to come back and attack this is an idea. In fact, I'm really liking queen d4, forcing the trade of the queens, because we threaten mate in 3 actually, with queen f2, king h1, queen f1, rook f1 checkmate. And so yeah, that move queen d4. Okay, I mean, still, queen d4 is just a really nice way of simplifying this. Oh my god. Did not calculate this. Today I am full of not calculating stuff, but it's fine because we have c4. But there is a check that attacks my queen with the bishop. But I do just play c4. Check. c4 here. If bishop takes, I just take the queen. And we are completely winning there. And if the queen moves, it does, and it attacks my rook. I mean, I can take the bishop. You take my rook. That's not ideal. What I'll probably do is just play queen to... Oh, whoa, what about this? Hello. Okay, fine. Nearly messed that whole thing up, but an impeccable opening. The king's going to be forced here, and then I will take this pawn, forcing the king. I mean, what we're going to see here is probably resignation, because king h2, queen h4. Okay, let's just show you guys. And then, yeah, king g1, queen e1, picking up the rook. King goes back here. But yeah, my opponent is almost certainly resigning here, because there is no way that I now managed to blunder this position, even though I somehow nearly got very close to getting my queen trapped. But there we go, resignation. Yeah, because of course, well, we'll look at the analysis. Okay, so here we are in the analysis. Now, that was a pretty much perfect game from me. Somehow, given that I stumbled through the whole thing, thinking I'd blundered several times, forgive me, it is 1 AM. However, that was like 94% accurate, and there was like 1 inaccuracy across the whole thing. So, let's go through the game. d4, c5 here. That was the inaccuracy. The inaccuracy was playing the old Benoni, which, I mean, if e4 and c6, the Caro-Kann, one of the most, you know, widely known chess openings, that is an inaccuracy according to the Lichess engine. So we're going to forgive the prepared inaccuracy, and after d5, knight f6 here, we'll I mean, in fact, you know what? Let's not turn on the engine. Let's turn on the master's database. So here we go. There's been a lot of games with c4, and you see that b5 is actually the top master move here. 48% of the time it is played, and then after the gamet's accepted, we again see that a6 is played, b takes a6, g6 best move, and then yeah, look, in these positions, I mean, there's been thousands and thousands of master games in something that looks really, really weird if you haven't seen it before. A lot of them play bishop takes a6 here. Bishop g7, however, is another line, and then e4, kingside castles, knight f3, and as you see here, queen to a5, move 8, and we're still in, you know, high-level master preparation. That is beautiful. And then, yeah, bishop d2 is what is necessary. We've seen, if you look at the win rate on this move, bishop d3, it is 61%, which is insanely high, especially, you know, with 28% draws as well. White is never really winning these games. And if we now look at, in fact, you know what, let's keep this up because this is really interesting. And we'll turn the engine on as well. We now see bishop here. This is a mistake because of that move, knight takes d5. We see e takes d5, bishop takes c3, and then, yeah, your opponent doesn't actually have to take this bishop. They can block the check, but then you can sort of trade this off and win back this pawn and just have a really nice position where you put a load of pressure on the queen side through the open files here. However, they obviously took back. Queen takes, queen d2 is actually the best defense, because obviously if bishop d2 is a full bishop lost, and knight d2 makes absolutely no sense. So we pick up the rook, kingside castles, and I should have gone all the way back. Oh, okay, Stockfish changes its mind, finally catching up with me. Okay, it's fluctuating very much. Bishop takes a6 seems to be what it's decided on. There are still master games, 3 of them in fact, played till move 13. This is very cool. But then, yeah, we see bishop takes a6, which was not a good move from my opponent, because that is where they sort of deviate from this master level theory, because we can just take back. Should have taken with knight. I think I recognized that that was probably the best move while I was playing, but I liked rook takes just because I thought this pawn was going to be really weak. We saw the pawn pushed, and I mean, it's like in rook b6 actually, but I just went for this. If you look at the evaluation though, we are still completely winning. Bishop to b2, queen a2, queen c3, f6 best move, even though I somehow thought that this trapped my queen momentarily. It does not, obviously. Rook e1, queen takes, rook takes, knight c6, best move. The rook goes back, and then look at this, beautiful stuff. Knight to e5, best move. After knight takes, pawn takes. My opponent, I mean, gets some luft here, obviously recognizing the problems on their back rank and the fact that my queen is surveying that. And here, I mean, we'll turn the engine off now. Queen to d4. You always should check for queen b3 check in this kind of idea, not specifically queen b3 check, but whenever you make a move like this, you know, where there's a battery here and you're trying to trade off a queen, check that there's no check to get the queen out the way with tempo. I got semi-lucky that I had the move c4. I'm going to claim that that was some subconscious intuition and that I'm actually a genius. But queen d4 here. The point being, if they trade queens, then I guess we play, I guess we play e takes. We get 2 connected pass pawns. We're just up. We've got a rook. We've got a bunch of pass pawns. And we're doing really well here. And there's nothing to worry about with king weakness because the queens aren't on the board really. And if the queen doesn't take, as we saw, well, check here, and then the queen goes down here. Then again, it took me a second to realize this, but this f2 square is weak. And after the king goes to here, we can turn the engine on here. And yeah, the best move being queen takes h4, force the king here, and then queen takes rook. The king goes back here, and it likes rook to f5. It's apparently mate in 10, giving up this rook over here, because if takes, then you can just go checkmate here. So yeah, but my opponent obviously resigning in this position and just getting thoroughly crushed by a beautiful bit of preparation against d4. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you too want to play like a grandmaster against the move d4, then like the video, and I'm sure your chess will improve. If you're new, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, because either, yeah, you'll get better at chess or my channel will grow, one of the two. And yeah, both good things. So thank you very much for watching. Goodbye. I'll see you in the next one.